Hello, everyone. My name is Tamara Bartmus with Lightsome Living, and I'm excited to give you a rundown and overview of what to expect during this last new moon of 2024, Capricorn's new moon, as we enter and leave 2024 and enter 2025. So let's dive in. I think it's going to be very interesting to get curious together on this. And again, one of the tools of all the signs of the zodiacs, just to remember, it is an energy fingerprint that's helping you be more aware of what is showing up in your personal life. And so having an awareness of your own birth chart is really helpful to be able to navigate these seasons of change and be curious about how they will impact you, because it will look different for every person involved. And so you can download your own birth chart and see where does Capricorn hit on that chart. I have a cheat sheet you can get in my zodiac workbook and journal. You can capture that and help walk through what does the season do for you personally, and how to be aware of that. All of these things build up and create a bigger picture of who you are and how you flow through different seasons of the year. So let's just jump in to this Capricorn new moon. Now, again, if you know where Capricorn is on your birth chart, this will be even more helpful, as you will help identify what area of your life will be most impacted by Capricorn season, and to just hold space for that and to be gentle and patient as the energy brings, new things there. So on December 30th, Monday, December 30th at 9 degrees 43 minutes, we will have the Capricorn new moon. That's at 3:25 p.m. Mountain Time. And so adjust it for wherever time zone you are in. And some of the key aspects that I want to highlight for this particular video is one, of course, we don't have much going on besides the sun and the moon conjunct here in Capricorn. And again, this sun-moon conjunction is a reminder that our outer and our inner self is realigning. It is the beginning of a new personal growth cycle, growth phase of how we see ourselves, what is our legacy, what is our motivations, what is our purpose, and how we're going about this great work of ours that we feel personally, internally drawn to. So as you come into this new moon, be curious about that. And it does fit with this New Year's energy as far as, oh, what are my goals? What are my aspirations? What do I want to change? What do I want to let go of? What do I want to embrace? All this kind of change energy is very appropriate as we enter this Capricorn new moon portal. All right. A couple things that I would say that we have to consider, because we don't actually have any, if you see here, there's no direct aspects from other planets to this Capricorn new moon. We have, of course, the conjunction of the sun and the moon, which is very potent and very important. It will help align things for you. But when you consider other energies, it's not really having a direct impact on this new moon. So in that case, what we're going to consider, what we always consider, is the ruling planet of Capricorn. And the ruling planet of Capricorn happens to be Saturn. And Saturn is in a unique aspect. We have the Mercury and Jupiter retrograde opposition here, and Saturn is the apex of this opposition. It's called a mutable T square, and the apex is where you find direction and relief in navigating the opposition of these energies. And on my last video, I think the Sagittarius, the Gemini full moon, we talked about this opposition a little bit, but because it just sort of continues to show up here. But in helping to navigate that, we have to pay attention to the energy in Pisces, specifically Saturn in Pisces. So the experiences that you're having in your Pisces at 14 degrees is going to, like where that shows up in your birth chart, is going to also give indications of what are needing spiritual refinement, spiritual work, and meditation, time to be more disciplined in this area and in this place of your life. So paying attention to that will really help ease this Sagittarian Gemini opposition, and it will provide information and experience that will help integrate this Capricorn new moon in a better way. So look for with Saturn, it's the planet of discipline, it's the planet of structure, it's the planet of things that are like, let's put this in order, let's organize this, let's build something of structure here, right? And when you put that into a water spiritual sign, it is more along the lines of how are you honing in and refining your, and developing your own spiritual gifts? What are you doing to connect yourself on a regular, consistent basis to the divine? And we are at this halfway point. Saturn has been in Pisces for the last year or so, and will continue for the next year or so. And so this lesson isn't going away. This is the time to do the work, and you can reap the benefits by being disciplined in your spiritual practices. So that's going to be really important, and I would encourage you to include that in your New Year's goals. Because of how it shows up here, I would encourage to find some kind of spiritual practice, spiritual consistency that is really resonating with you as you enter into the new 2025, as well as you making your goals and visions for what this next year should bring or could bring. So that's really important. The other thing to pay attention to is that Uranus, when is in retrograde, it actually operates primarily through well, when it's retrograde, we'll operate through the Capricorn energy and then find secondary expression through Aquarius. It's the ruler of Aquarius, but when it's in retrograde, it operates just a little bit different. And so when we look over here to its placement in Taurus, it is actually also a reminder, another earth sign, just like Capricorn, another reminder that your values matter as well as how you utilize your resources. If you can get to the reevaluation of how to be to sort of reevaluate the way you use your money and how you might have overextended yourself when Jupiter was in Taurus, to sort of bring that back into order will help you again. Bringing structure and order to your finances and resources will help you know how to change and what to like break out of as far as old habits and patterns. Another thing that's really interesting is that we have Venus here in Aquarius, and Venus will be moving into Pisces during Capricorn season. But in this shift, it's right now sort of wanting to break out of the norms, out of the structure, out like do it differently, right? It and it wants Mars to sort of help do it differently. But Mars is in retrograde, and when Mars is in retrograde, it's not a time of massive action. So you're not going to see a ton of huge shifts in how you show up in the public or in groups. It's just sort of exposing some of those things. But the reason why I point out Mars retrograde is because it does create not quite the traditional mystic rectangle, but something similar to it. And it's hitting what is called the nodes. And the lunar nodes here, a measure of our internal emotional growth and development, they are almost about to leave Aries and Libra. They have been in this sign for the last 18 months. And they are about to shift into Pisces and Virgo come January 11th. And in that shift, it's going to actually totally change the lesson and dynamic. So this is one of those last key opportunities to sort of be very honest with yourself as far as the lessons that you have learned about who you are and how do you bring that into your relationships. And if you can integrate that lesson, it will make it so much easier as you move into the next opposing energy of Pisces and Virgo. And again, learning and integrating a brand new layer of lesson of who you are and how to show up in the world. So again, paying attention to that, this Mars is saying, hey, you might not feel the drive for massive action. Maybe you don't start your goals on January 1. Maybe you start them a little bit later this year because the energy is just not super supportive of you going all hog wild on January 1st. Know that it's time for reflection. It's a sort of a timeout on your Mars energy to be more reflective and to say, hey, what actions worked, what didn't, how did I burn myself out, what was good, what wasn't. It's more of that kind of energy before you actually jump into things. And Aquarius is the Venus in Aquarius is going to continue to give you more information as it continues its cycle and its movement into Pisces throughout the rest of Capricorn season. So of all that I said, if there's one thing that stood out to you, write it down. There was a lot, but I would pay attention to what resonated most with you, what perked your ears the most, and then lean into that as you go into this Capricorn new moon, and utilize this time to make some new resolutions based off of where what you have accomplished, what you have done in the last year. How does that taught you? What have you learned about where your action builds impact, and how what and how you need to shift your use of resources, what you need to do in regards to your spiritual practices, so that you can be more in tune and you can be more self-aware in how you sort of bridge that heaven and earth energy, so that you're not just running without a plan, but that you're like being very intentional in what you create for your next year and the future beyond that. So if you have one of the tools that I find interesting is, of course, essential oils. I utilize these all the time as I navigate my own physical, emotional, mental, and spiritual well-being. Thyme is the essential oil that came up for this particular new moon. And I find it actually very interesting and a sign that we do definitely need to do the work of reviewing the past. Because if there's any kind of negativity or trapped feelings, any hate or anger, rage, resentment, anything that has been built up or hidden or buried from the past, this is the time to release it so that you can open your heart and move forward with greater love and compassion and forgiveness, and a reminder that you can't move forward unless you let go of the past. We'll talk more about this in the Cancer full moon video, because that is the opposing energy to our Capricorn, and the Cancer energy is very much it can hold us back to our past, and it can keep us from moving forward in our goals and aspirations of the future. So we do need to learn how to integrate and balance both of those as we work together. So utilizing time, I would recommend using this in a blend, in a diffuser, things like add it to a blend of On Guard or a blend of Northern Escape, which we talked about in the Capricorn season video. But you don't need very much. It's very, of course, it's an herb. It's very strong. You can put a drop on with some coconut oil on your feet, and or just smell it from the bottle, but it can be very cleansing to the body as a whole. You can also take a couple drops in a capsule on a daily basis throughout the month. Be very supportive. So look for the link to get your own thyme essential oil. This is a quality brand, the only one I trust for internal usage especially. Look in the description below for that. And I hope that this helps you as you navigate this Capricorn new moon, a significant time of the year. And just a reminder that this is the area of the body that is most energetically impacted as planets move through Capricorn. So again, your knees, your ligaments, your tendons, your skeletal system, your skin, your nails, your teeth, the mucosa of your body. So pay attention to that. Time will be a very great support to your immune system. Northern Escape that we talked about in the previous video will also be very supportive to this Capricorn energy. So emerging those would be really wonderful to support you on multiple layers and levels throughout the end of this year and moving into the new year. So I hope that you guys found this helpful. If you want to know more about the intermingling of zodiac signs and essential oils, you can get my free cheat sheet to help you learn more about that, especially get curious about where it shows up for you in your personal birth chart, where that Aries planetary energy that you have and what you can use to support yourself personally in that. So there's always more to dive into and understand. I do have, once you get your free cheat sheet, you can actually access a free, no, this is not free, but a little small paid guide actually of all of the different signs, and it will be really interesting for educational purposes and helping you find the right resources and find the right tools to support this energetic shift that happens every month as the sun moves into a new sign. So I hope you found this helpful, and I look forward to chatting with you again during the full moon. Thanks, guys.